They keep doing this. Delete, 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 delete video. Delete video. Why is that telling me? Delete. Okay. Okay, so let's do share screen. Share. Okay, more Facebook. And share page. Yes. Yes. A hard time. Okay. So stop live stream and start over. That's fine. No, that's not true. Cancel. Right. I'm doing a webinar. You can't come in, okay? Sweetie, you gotta go. Oh, it's so beautiful. I love it. Okay.
I hope you would like it right now.
Okay, tired girl. Okay, can you close the door?
My tummy was hurting.
I love you, honey. Hello, everyone. I'm really struggling to see if this is working, so just bear with me. Yes, okay. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of interruptions as well. So I'm just hopping on. I'm super excited to have you guys here, and I totally have you guys in the wrong space. Let's do this. Let's see what you guys can see. There we go. All right. So hopefully you guys can give me a thumbs up, or someone can just at least tell me that they can hear me. I have done a full webinar before where no one could hear me, which that would really suck. So I just want to welcome you guys here. My name is Natalie Palto. I'm here to present to you guys something I'm super excited and passionate about. And it's actually kind of this space of understanding toxicity in our world today. It's going to be short, but some of the things that I've noticed that I've come across a lot recently is that there's a lot of misunderstandings about what toxins are and their impact in our bodies and impact in our children and impact on just in our environment. And so I really did want to bring you guys just a bit more of a detailed presentation than what I normally do. And I was really excited because I did this presentation live in a beautiful class setting, and it was so well received, and it was really great to see people show up of every age, which I love, just to become more informed and more engaged and empowered in their own actions towards well-being, specifically in the area of toxicity. So I still haven't figured out this one slide, but there one thing that I'll tell you guys a little bit about toxins. My name is Natalie Palto. I am the founder of Essential Modern Day Healers, and I am actually one of, I have a specialty in toxicity. So what that means is that I'm a certified detox specialist. At the beginning of my program in learning about toxins, and the reason that I got into this program to learn about toxicity was I had already completed my nutritional therapy program, and I became so aware, and I realized so much that was happening in my family was oftentimes geared around toxicity. And so I felt that it would be a good space for me to learn a lot more so that I could support my own family better. Now, one of the really interesting things about learning about toxicity was in my first 2 chapters, I remember my first chapter was all about learning about toxins in the inside or outside. And I thought, okay, well, I never want to go outside again. I remember thinking it was so frightening to really understand and see this space of where we are today, and understanding that we are exposing ourselves to so many more toxins in our environment. But then my second chapter was all around toxicity inside the home. And then I couldn't wait to get outside again. So it was this big shift in understanding of what we're truly doing into our own homes. And toxicity in our homes looks very different than what I think the average person sees or understands. And it's something I'm going to mention a little bit later, specifically in talking about, where is toxicity found? And it's not an overabundance of toxicity that happens to us all at once. It's more of this tiny little bit of buildup that happens over time. And in a way that, when some people are exposed in a country where something really huge happens, such as Fukushima or a terrible, terrible, power plant leak or Chernobyl, people are aware of the large amounts of danger that they are being exposed to in a very quick way. In our Western culture where we live today, we are not aware of the tiny little bits that we are being consistently exposed to that over time create symptoms that we almost don't notice until it's too late. And I'm going to talk a little bit about those coming up. So just a quick little chat about what it looks like to have toxicity inside and outside. I'm not going to spend too much time just really going through it, but I'd like to spend just a moment so you guys can see that we sleep in areas that are toxic. We actually ingest dishwasher tabs, like that chemical compound goes into, and onto our plates. And it is something that oftentimes we are eating off of, our cutlery, laundry detergents. I come from a past of having regressed autism, and a huge shift happened when we shifted into using new types of laundry detergent with my son that we made ourselves, that actually were more inexpensive and more effective, and so what a difference we saw in behavior. Drinking water, metal pipes, things like this. If you have an older home, doesn't even have to be that old, you'd be surprised at how much of the water that we take in is actually containing some metals that aren't being tested for. Our makeups as women, we are known to love to look good, and in some ways there's nothing wrong with that, except at the expense of what it's costing us today. We are often being exposed to large amounts of parabens, which are hormone disruptors. We're in a world where hot flashes are like skyrocketing, and just different and periods, and then like people's menstrual cycles are very, very thrown out of whack. There's so many fertility issues, so much hormone disruption happening in our world today. Body creams are in the same playing field. Underarm deodorants, let's not even get me started on that. When you think about parabens being coupled with aluminum, which is in like our most advertised brands, this is what is the perfect storm for me to understand that aluminum is a known cancer-causing agent, and then you have things like parabens that are there mimicking estrogen and helping things like that grow. So yeah, parabens, I rant about this a lot, and I'm not going to rant about it today, but to bring awareness that parabens are allowed to be used as fillers because they do not cause cancer, yet they are this beautiful thing that can help mimic something that can help it grow. And so there's a lot of things in our world that we are being exposed to. Cell phones are proven to cause cancer through Wi-Fi. And then when you're constantly, putting creams and such on yourself, it's not, like I said, a big thing that happens all at once, but little things that happen over time. So meats, so floor cleaners, our foods that we ingest today, I'd say that 50% of, maybe 75% of the Western diet is geared around grains still, even with our new health pyramid or health guidelines. It's come out, and I'm sure that 90% of people have just ignored it completely, not realizing that the true impact of what that can have. Paints that we use on our walls, candles, fragrances. And then we look at the world outside. We look at where we're living, and we look at all of the things that are, zoning through the air, pesticide sprays, asphalt, barbecuing. There's certain parts of the world that are so, their life expectancy in Beijing, I believe, is 10 years less than everywhere else because of how they just heat their homes or cook their food. Cell phones, power lines. Our oceans, plastics, we can't even hardly eat fish anymore. So this is just to bring a little bit of awareness to the things that I find a lot of people may not know about. So our world today, I want to talk about I really like to educate people specifically on what that looks like and what we've created as a evil cycle that feeds onto itself and continues and continues and continues. Our world today is filled with cancers. Our world today is filled with autism. And our world today is filled with diabetes. And this is a world that 50 years ago, 70 years ago, these conditions were not just undiagnosed. They were not non-existent, but they were of a much less magnitude than they are today. We're looking at epidemic proportions of chronic illnesses that are affecting not just our population elderly, but also our young children of today. So I want to show you guys now what that looks like coupled. So what happened coupled with what's happening in now. And so we look at this world and we look at the 70 years and we have to think, what have we done differently? Has it been genetics? Let's see of what we truly have done in the last 50, 70 years that truly changed. We have grown so much in the area of technology. We have created a lifestyle of ease for ourselves. And it has come at a huge cost. We are starting to realize it in a big way. If you look at most plans for health plans, like I have, for example, they really do promote a lot of cleaner living now, especially in the last 2 years. And that was one of those things where they had to bring awareness in to our lives where we were lacking in a big, big way because people are realizing that it's costing more and more and more, even to the pharmaceutical companies. Something is not going right. We are in an age where our young children are expected to have a lower life expectancy than their parents. It's the first time, I think, in history that that's ever happened. We are looking at rises of all kinds of disabilities. We are looking at a world where possibly our children will not have the tools and abilities to be able to take care of us when we are older. Not that that's the only reason, but that's just to show you guys a little bit of awareness around that. If 1 in every 4 children has mental health issues, which I believe is the statistic right now, and they're saying by 2021, every other child will have some form of autism or spectrum disorder. We are looking in a space of what does that look like for our future? And it's not to put fear into people, but it's to put awareness that our children are there to bring awareness to these things, to help us change for the better so that they may have a better future as well. So most of us, and myself included, came into the world of holistic health, I like to call it functional health, integrated health, whatever. We came into this world in our 3rd generation of not knowing any better. And what that means is that we're in our 3rd generation of not being aware of what we're doing to ourselves, our bodies, our foods, our toxins. But just to put a little bit of perspective to it, is that in the last 70 years, we have created over 80,000 chemicals for our ease, and a very, very small amount of that has actually been tested for human safety. I think it's about 5,000 that I had heard was the last number. And yet, we still use so many of these chemicals, and as you can tell, many of them are, as time progresses, being removed from shelves, being now marked as severe cancer-causing agents, such as PBAs, hormone disruptors, and a whole bunch of other things. And what happens when we are exposed to this in that magnitude all at once? I like to educate people to say that, it took us billions of years to become the detoxifying masters, and yes, I will say masters, that we are today as human beings. Our cellular structures, those cells, they have evolved in a way that is beyond amazing. But they have also never been bombarded and had to evolve at the rate that we are attempting to force them to evolve right now. And I think that it's a lot to be said about our illnesses and what we do about them. I also am someone who works frontline in diagnostics. I see cancers every single day. I'm the girl who cries in the back when I know you're about to be diagnosed and you don't know it yet, especially if I know you. I live in a small town, it's kind of hard. But one of the things that I'm going to talk about right now is to really bring home to what we are creating as a cycle. Because cycles repeat themselves, and cycles are the thing that can either do very good for us. Habits are great, but they can also do us a lot of harm. So in our modern medicine today, our doctors are educated a lot in symptom relief, which I mean really is what we need when we go to the hospital or to our family doctors. We want our symptoms to no longer hurt us or ail us or bother us. And so when we go to our modern doctors today, they have an arsenal of different tools to alleviate symptoms. And that's a wonderful thing. The only thing is that when you're looking at pharmaceuticals, which by all means, when necessary, should be used, but we have to also look at what that does in the body. I was pretty interested and I was pretty excited to see in a patient's room at the hospital when I was there, just in the emergency department, that there was a beautiful sign that said, please ask me about antibiotics and ask the doctor if I really need them. And this is something that's actually a poster that that was posted there. And I thought that what a wonderful, wonderful thing. Sometimes you're going to need those synthetics. Sometimes you're going to need it, and be grateful that they had them. Many people would have died without them. But it is handed out quite quickly. And what happens when you are on long-term synthetics and medication, there's this cycle of more toxicity. So not only are you ingesting and putting toxins on your skin and being exposed to it outside, but you are also, and then you get symptoms from that, but you try to cure those symptoms with more toxicity. And so you see the cycle start. And then what happens is that sometimes those medications, due to the high levels of toxicity you already have, create more reactions, more toxicity, meaning then you're prescribed often more medication to counteract the effects of the other medication. It's this world of just instant gratification where we want everything to just be better right away. So I'm here to tell you that it's not going to happen. We are in a beautiful place where we are today. I believe a little bit more so than our parents. And I think that the world of our future is going to be super exciting and super educational and super supportive to the empowerment of each individual to look at their own lives, bodies, and minds as a whole, which seems to be the best way and the old way of trying to take care of ourselves. We're in a time where our doctors are not the doctor who probably raised us or knew who we were. I'm privileged. I live in a small town, and some people, that's the benefits of what they have. But that's like a rare thing. Like it threw me off here that even some people still were able to have their doctor deliver their baby. Like I came from a city, and cities, that was like never going to happen. You were lucky if you even got your gynecologist that was on call. So just to show you that big magnitude of what could happen, right? And our future looks very different than what our past looks. And I mean, you can try to avoid hopping into the future with us, but you know what? It's going to happen. So we should just really enjoy it. So I'm going to barrel through this part because I think that it's the funnest and the best and easiest to explain. So this lifestyle pyramid is like my lifeline. It is what I have been educating for the last 5 years, especially being through nutrition. This is actually doTERRA's lifestyle pyramid. I like theirs the best. Most companies that are health related will educate on a similar type of foundational system, but eating right will always be the foundation of everything. And because we're talking about toxicity, these all impact toxicity, and we're going to kind of start going through them. So now let's talk about what it looks like to enhance our own detoxification system. We're in a time where colds are lasting longer. I know I just got a cold, probably lasted about 3 days, which was long for me. I was also on a cleanse, so that could have been why. But very quickly explaining that, eating what you put in your body will be the most impactful thing to creating proper detoxification organs, to supporting those organs, and to help them be the amazing machinery, and I hate to use the word machinery, but that's what pretty much they are. They are these wonderful things that help to, example, liver will help to detoxify massive amounts of toxicity. It's probably your the center control of detoxification, right? But you also have your kidneys and your skin, and you have your brain. All of those areas need detoxification. And so eating right will be the best thing, because what we put in our bodies is literally what makes our body works. So the number one thing that I always recommend to any lifestyle is drinking more water. And don't be shy. Don't make yourself sick at the beginning. That's what I tell people. Some people, and people who are on obvious issues with retaining water, that's a journey that is on its own, that has to be followed slowly over time. There are certain things that have to be worked with that. But drinking water, if you are an average person that is semi-healthy, drink a lot of water, anywhere from 1.5 liters to 2 liters a day. I mean, sometimes I drink 3, but I'm used to that. The other thing that's really great is eating a plant-based diet. A plant-based diet does not mean that you are vegan, although it is one of the best ways to eat if you are eating raw veganism, as they say. But I eat a plant-based diet. There are things to say about meats. Meats have B12 and iron and all kinds of different minerals as well, and vitamins. But one of the things that I always like to explain to people is that our food plates, when you go to a restaurant, should never be considered an example of what we should eat on the daily. Example, like when you eat like a 12-ounce steak, I'm sorry, like you should only be eating a piece of meat that is like maybe the size of the palm of your hand and the thickness. Like my pieces of meat are tiny. My kids and myself can share, the three of us, one single chicken breast. Not because I feel like they shouldn't eat, like we just don't have to. It's not necessary. It's not necessary for our bodies to work properly. Anytime you ingest meats, and in large quantities specifically, you're looking at more work for digestion, because meat is a very, very hard thing to digest. But going back to detoxification and living in a toxin-free lifestyle, using really good supplementation is one of the greatest and easiest ways to bring in a healthy lifestyle. Specifically, I just did a lifelong vitality testimonial. And so using the lifelong vitality from doTERRA, I will only be talking about doTERRA because some of their health products are, to me, and from what I've seen and experienced over the last 3 years, much more superior than to me, all other products I've seen and been approached about. So one of the things that I'll talk about lifelong vitality briefly is when you're looking at the microplex VMZ, you're looking at a lot of different nutrition, specifically in a whole foods form. There's the EX, and so this is basically putting you in the green zone, which this is what actually enhances and makes the liver work better, the kidneys work better, the bowels work better, all of those detoxification spaces. You want to up those when we've been exposed to, as they're saying right now, in 1 week, we are exposed to what our grandparents were exposed to in an entire year of toxicity. Yes, that should be a wake-up call. And so using the Microplex MVZ, full of nutrients, using the EX omegas, this is your omegas, which means that, we're so overabundance in omega-6s and so lacking in omega-3s. And one of the things that's great about doTERRA is, for all my vegans out there, they do have a vegan formula, which is made with seeds. And the thing is we cannot actually eat all of that, because it actually would either give us upset stomachs, digestion issues. And in the fish oil form, we have to look at it. It's really difficult these days to have antibiotic-free and wild caught, trustworthy salmon with the way our oceans are as well. Like, it's really difficult right now. We really have a lot to go back and learn from. And then the Alpha CRS is actually a very unique product from doTERRA. I love this product because when I start reading off the ingredients for some people, you could see their eyes light up, because oftentimes many people have to purchase most of these products separately, and they are quite expensive. So the Alpha CRS consists of alpha lipoic acid, coenzyme Q10, quercetin, and also ginkgo biloba. So all kinds of, and all of them are in a bioavailable form that is recognized by our cells. So easiest way I hate to say it, pill popping society, this is one of the easiest ways to bridge in an easy habit, which is why the Healthy Habits tours are so great to go to. Okay, exercise. Guys, sweating is so important. It's really amazing to learn what happens when you sweat. Your skin is actually your largest organ. It is semi-permeable, which means that it can, there are certain things that you put on your skin, like makeup, that's actually made to soak into the skin on purpose. And it's one of the most toxic things we do, and yet we do it because we don't know often. But how do we get rid of massive amounts of toxicity? So this is a really cool and easy way to do it. Exercising is extremely important. It has a direct impact on toxins, because heavy metals can only be detoxified when we are pretty much sweating them out. So things like, I like to bring awareness to people's diets when they like commercial breads. I have my people who love white bread, and they sometimes just don't realize that white bread is so the high fructose corn syrup, the corn that is used, has been soaked in a mercury solution, food grade, that actually has a half-life of 30 years in your brain and is considered a neurotoxin. It's mind-boggling that to me they're even allowed to do that. And yet that is the most bought bread on the shelves. And it doesn't matter what type. It doesn't matter if you buy whole grain. It doesn't matter if you buy, you think you're eating the best. If it has high fructose corn syrup, really pay attention to the ingredients. So what are the ways that we can get rid of these, high neurotoxins? Is sweating. So I'm not telling people to go join a HIIT class or whatever. I'm telling people to just get your sweat on, whether it be a little bit at the beginning, just going for a brisk walk, sitting in a sauna if you don't have high blood pressure or low blood pressure. If you're capable of sitting in a sauna and that's a great start as well, is just to start getting those pores to release all of that toxicity. Okay, essential oils, resting and managing stress. So these have direct impacts. And to me, it was hard for me to see the pyramid. This is the only one I'm kind of wishing had almost been inverted, is that the reduced toxic load and the rest and managed stress should be kind of opposite, because I feel that they both impact each other so much. But for the sake of rest and managing stress, did you know that when you're sleeping, you have an entire detoxification system that happens at nighttime? And what that looks like is that you have the glymphatic system that flushes and just pushes a whole bunch of toxicity through your brain and through across and then into your bloodstream, so that it can actually go back and be just released through your normal detoxification systems, through your digestive and also through your urinary system. So sleeping is extremely important. 7 hours minimum, preferably 8. There is things that happen when we sleep, and it is the biggest epidemic right now on our planet, apparently, is lack of sleep. We think we can do it. We all think we can do it. I was the number one I was always the one to say, I'll just sleep when I'm dead. I want to live life. I want to feel great and blah, blah, blah. But you know what? When it starts to impact you and you realize that dead might come a whole lot quicker, you actually have to think through and see why sleep is so important. And that's one of the reasons. Reducing toxic load. So let's talk about this for a moment, because it's not about changing big things. It's about the little changes over time. I like to focus on saying this. In our children especially, seeing as their detoxification systems are so pure and not worked, our children's detoxification systems are something that have to be built over time. And so we, for a long time, thought it was the opposite, that when they were born, they had the best detoxification system because they were coming out as a clean slate. But it's truly the opposite. And yet they are the ones who are exposed to almost the highest level of toxicity by giving them candies, by giving them just food coloring, cereals, bear paws, sweets. Like the average child should have no more than 25 grams of sugar in a day, and a juice box has 21. Yes, there is a problem with how we market to our children. It is absolutely disgusting to me. So it's one of those things that it affects our future completely. Our children are our future. There is no doubt about it. I don't care if you are a mother, a grandmother, a friend of someone who's a mother. It doesn't matter if you're a teenager and someday you don't even want kids. Our future generations impact us all. And so if you're on, I always tell people, listen to it to the end, because what you can do, that little thing of you, and I love it when my sons and my daughter's friends come over. I feel like I get to have this, especially if they stay for dinner, I feel like I get to have this impact in their lives. It might just be a tiny impact, but it matters. And that's where people think me doing something small won't matter. Because yeah, it does. It's not about the one little thing you do. It's about, or the one big thing you do, sorry. It's about all the little things that you start to incorporate. And I'm going to be rolling out with the 52, not 52, but I'm going to be rolling out with at least probably 50 habits to bring forth in the coming 2 months, all geared around pretty much maybe even over the year. I haven't quite decided how it's going to run, but it'll be how to create habits over a week-long time with the seasons, so that people can feel like by the time they're completed, they've actually created 52 brand new habits. And I could tell you that 52 little habits is, imagine that, 52, you would be a totally different person if you had 52 different habits in your life right now. you would see the world differently. You would have a completely different physical feeling and appearance. Everything would change in your life for the better. If those habits are for the better. So I'm going to roll out with something like that. It's not, I can't take all the credit. It was something I read from Ange Peters, and I was like, I love this, but I want it a little bit different. I want to do it according to where we are today and how to bring this into our lives over a year span, but doing it according to using the tools that we have in the time seasonally that we are. So we are each a symphony. So I want to talk a little bit about Symphony of the Cells. If you don't know what Symphony of the Cells is, it is this beautiful application of essential oils that Boyd Truman taught us. He's actually teaching it again, I think next week. It is like this training that is the most epic training on the planet. I absolutely love it. If you like essential oils and you've ever had an opportunity, just go. Don't even think twice about it. Don't even balk at the price. Just go. It was one of the most life-changing, I guess, courses that I've ever been to. And I use it still. I use it all the time. So Symphony of the Cells is this just simple application, which you guys will actually get to see just kind of like a rough little idea, because I never want to take away from someone who created this. So I will be educating you guys just briefly on a very quick symphony for detoxification today and showing you a very quick application of it. But it would never replace the training that I had. But it's a way for you guys to start getting essential oils or getting tools onto people and yourselves to help the process of cleaning out our cells, of cleaning out the doorway to the cells, of, you know, getting rid of some miswritten DNA, and of, like, you know, really just resetting stuff. We need to reset. All right, so I want you guys to take a moment when you're watching this, whenever that is. I want you guys to take a moment and think about what 3 things can I change in the coming 21 days to reduce my toxic load, inside and outside. I want you guys to think about my list, that list of things that I put up about what toxins were outside and what toxins were inside. What 3 things can you change in 21 days to make a habit? And sometimes it could be as easy as just making your own multi-purpose cleaner, which I have lovingly put in this wonderful little recipe here. And then a window cleaner to clean the outside. So just imagine just starting to create your own products. Imagine maybe swapping out your lip balm or your lipstick to something that's non-toxic, or your mascara or your shampoo, or, you know, maybe you start making unicorn tabs that Ange Peters teaches for your dishwasher, or maybe you're just washing your floor with different things. Laundry detergent's a big one for me because you literally have it on almost 24 hours a day. So if you wanted to know one impact that you could have that's really huge for yourself, is actually shifting out of using very high fragrance laundry detergent, because you have it close to your skin, on your underwear. The only time you don't have it on your skin is literally when you're in the shower. It's on your bed sheets. It's on everything you touch. It's on your children. It's just always on you. So if there was ever one impactful thing that you can do, I provide a free laundry detergent recipe. Please just feel free to use it. It works. It works with HE. It's 5 ingredients: essential oils, baking soda, coarse salt, Castile soap, and water. And it's just fine. It's phenomenal. And if there's stained clothes, then you just put the Castile soap directly on it and scrub it out with lemon oil. How awesome. So just really think about that, those 3 things. All right. And then my favorite is how to cleanse with Symphony of the Cells. So Symphony of the Cells is this beautiful application where you put frankincense along your shoulders just to really ground someone and bring them out of their daily chatter of their mind. Carrier oils are things like fractionated coconut oil. Then you apply that across the back and up the back and in circular motions just to soak it in. Rosemary or tea tree, whichever you prefer. The massage blend, which is our aroma touch. This is a blend full of essential oils such as lavender, peppermint, marjoram, basil, grapefruit. So very, very, very potent oils. Metabolic blend, which is our Slim and Sassy. Now, if there was ever a detoxifying blend other than Zendocrine, that would be it for me for sure. Lemongrass, very, very, very good for the cells. Lemon, all of the citrus oils are known to be cleansing, high cleansing cleaning outside and high cleansing cleaning inside. Grapefruit, ginger, and peppermint. And so these are things that I've incorporated myself into my own detoxification practices. We repeat twice a week for 4 weeks, and I do this, right now I'm doing it biannually, and I'm educating about it biannually, but my husband is also doing this for me. And all you do is you put the oils probably at the beginning, 4 to 6 along the spine after the carrier oil, and then just rubbing them in across the spinal cord, because where the spine is, that is where the nervous system is, and that is direct link to all of your organs and body systems. So there is a reason why that's there. And there are multiple different protocols. If there was ever a condition you were curious about that needed support, that you felt you were not getting what you needed out of our healthcare system today, know that there is a Symphony of the Cells protocol for it. It can easily be purchased at symphonyofthecells.com for the booklet. And that if there are more questions about that, feel free to message me. Now, this is the end of my presentation, my webinar. I hope that this kind of brings some awareness about toxin-free living, where toxins can be found. That's what I said we would cover. I said we would also cover how to detoxify our bodies. I have given you guys plenty of areas where you can tackle it over the next 21 days. I would love to see your posts. I would also really encourage you, if you are someone who has not had a doTERRA account and you are interested in starting your toxin-free lifestyle, reach out to me. I will also put my link generator at the bottom. Most of these essential oils, such as frankincense, tea tree, lemon, and peppermint, are actually in one of the starter kits. So the starter kits are the best way to start. They come at a huge discount and allow you to purchase for 25% off for the entire year. So if that's a time for you, if you are ready for that, I will make sure that the link is in the comments. You want to really hop into there, because honestly, it is life-changing. It also comes with a huge amount of support. It comes with a whole wellness consult with myself, where we get to tackle and really hone in on your unique needs, because that's what I like to teach about, is at the end of the day, it's all about you. It's not about me, because I already tackled me. So educating others into becoming empowered and where they need the most help, that's what I do. And that's what I like to do. I love a challenge as well. I actually really enjoy helping people who are in a space of lost hope. When people have lost hope, those are the people that I seem to really feel a really great attraction to, in a sense that I don't want that. We don't want that for anyone. We don't want anybody to lose hope. So if you're ready, though, to detoxify, like I said, just hop into the link. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening, and have a great day.